All right, man. So, Steph Curry just had one of the best game sevens you're ever going to remember. Kevon Looney grabbed what felt like every single rebound in this game, especially in that third quarter, where it also felt like the Warriors in general grabbed every single rebound. I think the number one thing I saw on Twitter was, why is Terrence Davis the primary Steph guy? Where's Davion Mitchell? That sort of stuff. Davion played, 8 minutes in this game? Anyway, let's just start with Steph. So the one that I'm going to remember the most from this game was just that crazy step back three over Keegan Murray at the top of the key in the fourth quarter. And probably that one where he didn't do like a pump fake, but he kind of did like a hesitation to get Trey Lyles in the air anyway. Then he just drive it in, gets like a Euro step finish. There was a blow by on Keegan Murray that I remember where there wasn't a whole lot of action. He basically just drove right by Keegan Murray. Trey Lyles tried to take a charge on him. That didn't really happen. A give and go with Draymond, which led to another layup. That one was around like the left wing, like handoff action sort of thing. Within, of course, just your normal Steph Curry, crazy three-pointers and all that. I don't know, man. Mike Brown didn't go with Davion Mitchell for that much of this game. Played a little bit. Terrence Davis, he had more minutes in the game six where the Kings won pretty convincingly. I don't know. I mean, I guess Mike Brown might just say, well, we needed more shooting, more offense out there. And to be fair, it's not like Davion Mitchell would have single-handedly shut down Steph, but maybe he would have done a better job than Terrence Davis. Now, they did still have moments of throwing extra attention at Steph. Like in the first quarter, it did feel like there was an emphasis on the Steph, Draymond or Looney pick and roll. And there was, Looney getting the roll to the rim on, I think, the first basket of the game. There was another Moses Moody three, which resulted off of, the Steph trap. And there was also that one in the late third where they double-teamed Steph with like 5 seconds left, and then Draymond set that off-ball screen for Clay, and then he was able to get just enough daylight for Steph to swing it to him. And then it was a 4-point play where I think Terrence Davis was the one who fouled him, and that one was a bit of a backbreaker for Sacramento. But still, that was some all-time stuff from Steph, man, no doubt. And then as for all the Kevon Looney rebounds, man, it just feels like, this is the second postseason now in a row where there's the Kevon Looney moment, whether it's his defense, his rebounding, both, where it's just like, man, the Warriors are paying this dude $8 million a season. And, look, if you want to blame Sabonis, because there were a couple of those where his attempt to box out Looney was just kind of awkward, where it was like the angle, he was like sometimes basically facing Looney, or he was like, kind of to the side of Looney or whatever, and just kind of wrapping him up. And I get it, with how fast the game moves, you're not going to always have the time to get the classic box out on a guy. But even so, that was a mess for him. And it was huge for the Warriors because, like, in game six, part of the reason why the Kings won that thing going away was because, like, they ran every opportunity they got off of makes, off of misses. And it's like, well, if they grab a trillion offensive rebounds, it's a little tougher to get out and run, right? Let's talk about the Kings offense for a little bit. And some of this will also involve Kevon Looney as well. Because I remember, this was mostly like in the fourth quarter. I remember like a Looney switching on to Fox, and Fox doesn't challenge him. He just took a three that wasn't a great attempt. That one doesn't go in. Fox turned the ball over once versus Looney dropping on a screen. I remember a Malik Monk pull-up jumper in the fourth with Looney in a drop and Clay doing a good job of contesting that. It just felt like in this series, while Sabonis, in this game, he was able to, he made a couple of mid-range jump shots. He had a couple plays where he was able to get downhill off of some sort of an action and then score on that, as opposed to just like trying to score through Looney or Draymond in the post. He did have one post-up score on Draymond. It was probably his best one of the whole series. Like, Sabonis did get points today, but it did feel like the Looney dropping off Sabonis thing overall was a win for the Warriors in the series, where pretty much he had 3 games of over 20 points. He had 3 games of like 13 points. He had 1 game with 7, but that was game 6. The Kings won that one big anyway, but yeah. That combined with them just either fighting like hell to get around the, somewhat of a screen handoff thing from Sabonis on Kevin Huerter or whoever. Kevin Huerter did miss a good amount of shots in the series, or they would like have somebody else help, and then that gives the original defender time to get there. Like, whatever it was, they were able to just get enough success out of the Kings, just really not torching them on those types of things, Because, of course, the other thing is if you play so high up on Sabonis and those handoff actions hit, then there can be like a roll to the basket for Sabonis, or a cut, or, a drive for the guy that got the handoff action. So, yeah. Now, as I say that, I do think there was some success with like De'Aaron Fox just making shots over the Looney drop in the series. And so for this game, he did miss a couple of those opportunities, but also credit to Andrew Wiggins. I feel like there were, 5 or 6 times where Fox pulled up on just his signature shot of the season, the free throw line pull-up jumpers, and Wiggins was there to contest a whole lot of them. A couple of the Looney drop ones, Wiggins was able to get around the screen to have a good enough contest. And I know De'Aaron Fox got the finger injury, I know. But still, I do feel like in the midst of this all, like, I had to take a second to be like, oh wait, Wiggins' defense has been pretty legit in this game. And, Malik Monk as well. I think GP2 had a number of plays where he just contained Monk really well, or, hell, even blocked him on like at least one pull-up too, I remember. He closed out well on him on a few three-point attempts. GP2 also had that block on the Keegan Murray three that was pretty wild. Draymond had one play where it was him at center, and he was dropping on a Monk, I think, Sabonis screen, and he was able to, if not block Monk's shot, like contested to the point where Monk basically had no chance. But still, the biggest takeaway is that Steph Curry, he just had an all-time game, man. No doubt about it. Now, as far as a big picture thing for Sacramento, like, it would be better to ask a Kings fan this sort of thing. From my perspective, it's like, yeah, this must suck in the moment. But for the first time in a long time, you're really building something that's going in the right direction here. So overall, it would feel good, but it's probably going to take you a couple of days to get to that feeling, given the feeling of this loss. And now we look on to Lakers-Warriors. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do a series prediction because the turnover in these series is so fast that it's almost like the video matters for like 2 days. And then, I guess you can still always go back to it. But once the series has begun, I feel like it kind of, whatever I'm trying to say right now. I do want to do a video on the future of every round one loser. That might be the next video I do if I can get it out fast enough before we get more playoff games. Real quick stuff on Knicks Heat. Hopefully Jimmy's ankle is okay. And also, between like dropping on Brunson and having some length on him, getting kind of aggressive with playing off of the Knicks shooters there at times, packing the paint like wild. The Knicks were not totally ready for that. Now, granted, some of that's just, did they make or miss the threes? And okay, we'll see there. And obviously Randall's health is going to matter. And yeah, we'll see there. But the big thing, just Steph, the Warriors, they did it again, and all that nice stuff.